Zhongguo, the Middle Kingdom. We are the center of commerce and culture in the middle of barbarians. For thousands of years, the fertile Yangtze and Yellow River valleys have fed, clothed, and nurtured us. Foreign caravans travel great distances to buy the beautiful things our ancestors taught us how to make, such as silk and carved jade. Do these jealous barbarians send spies to see inside our city walls? They envy our thriving markets, the elegance of our arts, the grandeur of our palaces. They are amazed by our many inventions and the knowledge of our scholars. Therefore, in this, the year of the tiger, the emperor has commanded we rebuild the great wall of 10,000 li that shields our empire. For just as the dragon protects the pearl of wisdom, so must our emperor guard against the barbarians who threaten the rise of the Middle Kingdom.
Hey guys, welcome to Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. That's right, I know I really shouldn't be starting this straight away, but I did say that I would start playing Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom when I start to get on a bit on Pharaoh, and it just so happens to be around Chinese New Year, and it's the Year of the Goat, so I thought, what better time to start playing Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. Now I do have to thank a little bit of a sponsor here, because you can't get Emperor on GOG.com, so that means I've actually got a physical copy. That's right, and it's not that you can buy a physical copy so easily nowadays, and it was sort of given to me by a friend, and just as a shout out to him, he runs a shop. I know you guys mostly aren't in Malaysia, but I'm gonna promo him anyway. He runs a shop called Wira Games, which translates to Hero Games, and his shops is just filled with sort of figurines, Warhammer 40k stuff, and all sorts of really cool things here. I'll throw some screenshots up here just so you can see his shop, and it's really, really cool, and I just want to give a shout out to him and put a link in the description to their Facebook page, because he's the guy who well, he gave me the game, and he kind of wants me to play Emperor because he's a big fan, and I kind of asked him, how did you get a hold of Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom original box copy? And he just replied with, well, I'm old. Nah, he's not actually that old. So, this game did come out in 2002, back when I was too young to really be buying these sorts of games. Well, buying by myself anyway. So, but anyway, I am going to be playing Emperor, and going to be playing the campaign, and this Let's Play will be split by mission. So each video is going to be one mission. So the first few are going to be rather short, but they get longer as it goes along because it gets harder. So let's go ahead and play the single player campaign. I am Emperor Gamer Zach, and just so you can see this, I want to delete this one. And yeah, I'm going to delete that and create a new one, just so you can see there's a little bit of an extra thing here. I'm going to put Gamer Zach, and you can choose a zodiac animal, because zodiac years are going to be a thing in this game. And you can see all the zodiacs here: rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, ram, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And I happen to be born in the year of the snake, not that I'm really into zodiacs and stuff like that, but I'm born in the year of the snake, so I'm just going to go with that. Press OK for that. I am Emperor Gamer Zach, and there we go. Let's go ahead and press OK and proceed. Now, we're gonna do the historical campaign. And as you can see, there's 7 parts of the historical campaign. This is not, of course, 7 missions. Each dynasty has sort of a bunch of missions in it. And we're going to start with the Xia dynasty, or Xia dynasty really, which is the tutorial missions. So let's see what it says here. Begin your journey into ancient China here with these simple tutorial missions. It is here in the time of the prehistoric Xia dynasty that our people first learned to work the land for sustenance and shelter. To prevent stumbles later, travel now down the path of the Xia. Listen closely and learn all that our venerated ancestors have to teach us. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this, and of course, in case you're watching this as it comes out, Gong Xi Fa Chai, which is Happy Chinese New Year, and if you happen to be watching this in years other than the Year of the Goat, well, Gong Xi Fa Chai anyway. So let's proceed to Mission 1.
Welcome to ancient China, home to the world's oldest continuous civilization. You are about to travel back in time over 4,000 years, for it was then along the fertile banks of the Wei River that several families banded together, discarded their nomads' cloaks, and established a small settlement. As village elder, it is your duty to plan the layout of this new settlement. You will be called upon to provide your people with food and water, as well as a means to slake their spiritual thirst.
Well, there you have it. Very simple start, 150 people in a plain cottage or better. And for this playthrough, unlike Caesar 3 and Pharaoh, I'm going to be playing on maximum difficulty, very hard. And in case you haven't noticed already, let's go to the city. This is all in widescreen. Isn't that fantastic? This is, of course, from the Widescreen Fixer website. Links in the description down below. Gets this in widescreen, and it's a bit higher quality. Anyway, I'm not going to bother reading all of this. I basically know how this game works. There we go. So you can get this widescreen fixer is a bit better than Pharaoh, and I think the Caesar one. I'm not sure if the Caesar one's out yet, but the Pharaoh one sort of has some distortions going on the interface. Let's just go ahead and play some houses while I talk. It's got some distortion on the interface, which can be a little annoying to some people, but this one is a little bit fixed up, as you can see. Even if we go to the Empire map, it doesn't sort of duplicate. The Pharaoh one sort of duplicates the map, making it very, very confusing. This one, you can see the original map size is sort of that, and that is just sort of added on later. So you can see there's a little bit of messing up here, but not too bad. Much, much better. All the buttons still work, or everything sort of looks really nice. Now, this is going to play out similarly, but roadblocks are sort of available straight away. There we go. Let's block those off. And so this game pretty much plays like the others, but a little bit different.
A city that plans well will always have food for new visitors.
I always find those sorts of messages a little bit it sort of messes with your head, because you definitely do not have food when you start out. But here we go. I did read through that little instructions bit. You saw the message that sort of came up at the beginning. All of this, it sort of gives you an introduction to the whole game. Not going to explain all of this to you. You can read this if you're playing the game yourself. But basically we do need, let's see, I'm still getting used to these buttons here. Safety. We need a well to sort of have water going around. This works similarly to Pharaoh instead of Caesar. And an inspector's tower. This is basically a prefecture or sort of a fire sort of safety thing. And in case you noticed, you see when you want to place buildings, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's green. When it's green, it means it's good feng shui, because feng shui is also a thing. Yeah? When it's yellow, it's not as good feng shui. It's sort of considered unlucky. So we can just go ahead and place that down there. And this section over here is going to be our sort of food production area. So I'm going to place one more over here. Now, one thing that Emperor does sort of fix is, you know, in Pharaoh and Caesar, you sort of have to place these worker buildings, and they send out a walker, and that walker has to pass by houses for it to work. Well, not anymore. You can see this has 5 out of 5 employees, and there's no houses in this area. So you can just sort of build a much more realistic city. You don't have to worry about actually placing houses, like scattering them where they really shouldn't be. So your town boasts a population of 100 people. Good. So, I'm going to put down some way of producing food here. Land and sea, hunter's tent. I'm going to place down 4 of these, I guess. There we go. Emperor, of course, is I think the last game Sierra ever made in the city building series. So it's sort of like Caesar 1, 2, 3, Zeus or Pharaoh. I'm not sure which one came first. I think it was Zeus, then Pharaoh, or Pharaoh, then Zeus, and then Emperor. And then this is sort of the end of the classic city building genre. After this, games like Children of the Nile sort of took over. But it's not really the same now, is it? So Emperor, of course, has pretty much the most refined and most complicated mechanics, but it's got some really interesting things which we're gonna see through the course of this playthrough. But you can see definitely some inspiration from Pharaoh here. We're just not hunting ostriches, we're hunting pheasants. So that sort of works out pretty much the same. And I'm pretty sure I don't have my advisors yet, so I'm just sort of right-clicking on buildings to see if employment is okay, which it does seem to be okay. So food's going to be coming in. Under commerce, we can build a mill, which is essentially a granary. So let's go ahead and plop that down there, right next to the river there. It's pretty cool. And one thing you do have to note about these games is the music. They always make such iconic music for these classic city building games. It's just so good. They don't really compose music like this anymore. Just listen to that. Reminds me sort of Age of Empires 1, actually, this sound. Imagine playing the more Asian civilizations. Anyway, we got some meat in the market, in the mill here, game meat, which means we can start putting down a market square, or should we let it stockpile a bit first? Maybe I'll let them hunt one more round there. We can speed up the game as usual. Is it not speeding up? What's the game speed here? Oh, this is at 100. Oh, okay. It's probably having a little bit of problem speeding up because maybe because of frapsing or maybe just because it's an old game. But this is maximum speed apparently, so we're gonna have to deal with that. But we got some meat in there, so let's go ahead and put down the market. Now, markets in Emperor play a little bit differently, a bit more like Zeus as far as I know. You sort of have to place down this sort of market square. And as you can see, it's not good feng shui there. It's sort of better here, but markets, of course, cause undesirability, but I'm gonna go with that. And once you place a market square, it doesn't do anything. You gotta place shops on it. So we got a food shop here, which I'm gonna stick on this side, the one right next to the houses, not that it makes too much of a difference. And that food shop acts like a market. So the market distributor guy sort of walks around and he distributes what's available in this market. So this sort of system allows you to... Oh, that devolution going over there. I'm gonna build a temple or an ancestral shrine to sort of fix that desirability problem. There we go. So this sort of gives you a bit more control about what's being distributed. Basically, you just have to place down the markets that you want. But the market lady, you can see there.
If you want to eat dragon meat, you'll have to go ahead and get it yourself. And keep your hands out of my food basket.
Bai-an is returning from the mill with game meat to give to all of these lovely people here. So we do have temples. Here they are, ancestral shrines. And it's sort of gonna improve the desirability of things because there's an aesthetics tab here, but we don't have access to it quite yet. And there we go, the plain cottages are coming along quite nicely. So looks like these are not evolving because the appeal of the neighborhood needs to increase. So you can just sort of scatter these temples around for now, and that will sort of increase the desirability. There we go. We do have 150 people. Oh, there we go.
Well done. You have successfully built a small village and fed them well on meat provided by the hunters. It is easy to see that you learn quickly. Press the proceed button to continue on to the next mission, where your people will learn how to coax seedlings from the fertile land.
Alright, well there you go. That was mission 1. It's a very easy tutorial mission, but I like to play these games from the start, make sure I get all the missions covered. And, ooh, the score is over here. Month's penalty minus 20, housing goals, treasury, raw score. Oh, okay. That's cool. So that was Banpo, and I'm gonna go ahead and proceed into the next mission. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.